Order and roll call for the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, starting with Tyler.
Tyler Gump, present.
Kevin Pearson, present.
Hogan Heathington, present.
Mitchell Bray, present.
Bill Irwin, present.
Dave Rush, present.
Leslie Andrews, present.
And we're going to do the introduction of the new Parks and Recreation Advisory Board members.
Please, Kevin, if you don't mind introducing yourself and a little bit about your background.
Sure. My name's Kevin Pearson. Been living in Highland Village this time for a little over 7 years. What other type of stuff do you want to know about me? I've got 3 kids, ages 12, 10, and 8, and my wife works. She works for the school system, or works for Founders Flower Mound, and I work for a company called Saffron, a big aerospace company, yeah. Just we really enjoy this city. We love using the parks facilities a lot, and I'm glad to be here. I spent the last 2 years on the ZBA, the Zoning Board of Adjustments, and I'm actually glad to be able to meet, because in 2 years we had exactly 0 meetings. So I wanted to be a part, to get involved with city government, because I really think that what goes on here has probably a greater chance of impacting lives than what happens at city level or county level, or even state level or federal level. And so just this is one way that I can get involved. So
Welcome in.
Leslie.
Hi, I'm Leslie Andrews. I've lived here in Highland Village with my family for 12 years now. Raised our kids here from very young ages, and just have enjoyed seeing the growth of the city and parks especially. So this is my first board to serve on. I'm here to learn amongst you all. Grateful to be more involved in knowing what's going on, and I hope to be a link between, the community and getting more people attending our events that are already so well attended.
Yep.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, of course.
Welcome.
We got a guy I've never seen before.
Okay, I'm Dave Rush. I've lived in Highland Village 32 years, and I'm retired. I've got 2 sons and 3 grandsons, and this is my second go-around on the board, so I served my sitting out time, and now I'm back, which I really enjoy being back with y'all. And like Leslie said, we've got the greatest park system of anywhere in North Texas, so looking forward to working with y'all.
Welcome back, Dave.
Thank you.
And just want to remind you that there's an annual board and commissions training on November the 9th for the new folks that are here, and even those that have not gone through it or maybe want a refresher, it's always a good time to take that opportunity to go, especially
Right.
with the new members. Okay.
Yep.
You learn a lot. You learn a whole lot in that. And then you'll also be assigned parks that you'll be asked to go out and look at periodically from time to time. We're not looking for a maintenance scorecard. We're looking through it through the lens of a board member, and then also gives you the opportunity to connect with people and introduce yourself, let them know what you're there for, and we'll get you a shirt and a hat and things like that say that, and give you opportunities to be engaged through the different events that we have. We are definitely a working board. It's something that I'm very proud of. This board has done a tremendous amount of work to help us, the city as a whole, in setting the trajectory of how Parks and Recreation is going to look, not only today, but 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. So eventually you 3 will, Dave, excluding Dave, but Leslie and Kevin, and you're welcome to come too, Dave, but set up a meeting with me when you get back, and I'll go over all the things to bring you up to speed, as there'll be some discussions about that as we head into the meetings after the new year. All right, so welcome. Okay, sir.
Welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
So that brings us down to conduct the election of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board chairperson. Do we have any nominations? Anybody? Anybody?
I'll nominate Mr. Mitch O'Bray to continue sitting in his spot as chairperson.
Do we have a second?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Passes. So, let's
Yeah.
I think I finally gotten it down. All my notes on this paper here.
Right.
Keep me straight. So that brings us down to number 4, conduct the election of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board Vice Chairperson.
Right.
Do we have any nominations for that? Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
Well,
Well, I would like to nominate Hogan Hivington to be the vice chair
okay.
for Parks and Recreation Advisory Board.
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good.
Passes. Congratulations.
Crushing
You get one clap.
responsibility. Get one clap.
Efficient.
I'm going to have to read up on this.
All righty. That brings us down to number 5, Parks and Recreation Advisory Board reports on items of community interest. Pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.0415, the Park Board may report on the following items. 1, expression of thanks, congratulations, or condolences. 2, information about holiday schedules. 3, recognition of individuals. 4, reminders about upcoming Park Board events. Information about community events. And 6, announcements involving imminent threat to the public health and safety.
So,
Oh.
Mitch, if I can.
We have some.
We had the Texas Fallen Officers event just here recently, and it was awesome. Great
Yeah.
turnout, more
Yeah.
numbers than what we had in previous years. It was a big success, but I do want to remind the board of upcoming events that we have for the remainder of this year. We have the Amazing Race, which is in the morning of November the 18th, and we have our Village Glows, which is later on that day, and that's going to take place at the shops. They have a new location since they're going to be doing construction. But it's going to basically be in front of the movies theater, where the space between Blue Goose and where Rockfish was. Okay, and then we have December the 8th, Wind Down with the Grinch, and those tickets go fast. And I would encourage those on Park Board that have not been to Wind Down with the Grinch to go. It is a great event. And then December the 9th is Christmas at the Ranch event. And I think most everyone has been here. Maybe Kevin, I don't know if you've attended that, but, you know, and Leslie, you definitely want to start getting engaged and attend some of these events. And then we'll send you also an event schedule for the new calendar year.
Okay.
What that looks like with the father-daughter dance and other things.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Can we just have a quick reminder on when those Wind Down with the Grinch tickets go on sale?
I don't know. Sorry. I will have Terry email the board.
No worries.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Perfect. Visitors' comments. Anyone wishing to address the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board must complete a speaker's request form or letter from the administrative assistant. In accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board is restricted in discussing or taking action on items that are not posted on the agenda. Action on your statement can only be taken at a future meeting. In order to expedite the flow of business and to provide all visitors the opportunity to speak, the chairperson may impose a 3-minute limitation on any person addressing the board. There's nobody here tonight.
Nobody here?
So we will bring that down to number 7. We're going to approve the minutes from the regular meeting of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board held on September 18th, 2023. I have a motion to approve.
I'll move to approve those minutes.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 All right, motion passes.
Nice.
Receive information on supplemental budget items approved in the 2023-2024 budget.
Yes, board and chair, a DRP, Doubletree Ranch kitchen conversion to a party room for $60,000 was approved.
Oh, good.
And staff is working on that right now. The trails and right-of-way mowing in-house and anticipated of savings of $30,000 annually. The current contract is $229,000. We are basically 29 acres of trails, 17 acres of right-of-way, 5 amenity stations, and 8 planting beds. That is all coming in-house now. We're going to have better control of it, have an opportunity to save some money, and provide a better service level than what we currently have. And as you know, we've been struggling with that contract for about three to 4 years now. So it was a good move. The conversion of Unity tennis courts to pickleball courts at about $48,000. That was approved, and it's currently being worked on now. They went in and x-rayed where the post-tension cables are, and they'll start looking at construction of that first phase, the first half of it.
Nice.
They'll try to work in between the rain to get that done.
More than just
So do we-
repainting?
See that?
Go ahead.
I was just say it's more than just repainting?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's, they're going to put permanent posts in with nets, and we've got some fencing that goes in between the courts. There's a total of 12, and there's 4 rows of courts in between them.
Okay.
And this is one of the projects that the new board members, if you come to me, set up a meeting, we'll sit down in the office, and I'll go through all of this in detail.
Yeah.
What that looks like. But it's a project that I've been working on for, I don't know, a couple of months, 3 months.
Right. So do we know when they're going to close the 2 courts to start?
It's probably going to happen later this week. We're posting signs up.
Okay.
And if it doesn't happen this week, it'll happen next week.
Okay.
ActiveNet software integration, for those that were on the board, remember this presentation. We're very excited about that. It goes to council it's been funded, but it goes to council tomorrow night for approval for the city manager to enter into a contract with Terralogic. So that's going to close some loopholes that we
Nice.
currently have that are open, and it's going to help us capture more revenue. And that's yet to be determined, but we're happy about that. We have a preliminary design services for FM 407, the village connector, which was spoken about today in the leadership meeting, approximately $65K, and we'll start looking at that after the first of the year. There's a little bit of work that we have to do, especially with identifying a professional service company that has worked with state and federal grants and is used to or has experience with these type of projects. So we want to be very intentional about who we choose for this, specifically the city manager, especially since this is one of the initiatives that he has through the comprehensive plan. And then we have approximately 15 in-house projects that are ongoing, and then about 9 bond projects that we are currently working on. And that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice. Thank you.
Any other comments on that? Anybody?
I'm good.
No. All right, we're going to receive information on the supplemental budget items approved in the 2023-2024 budget.
That's what we just
Oh,
did.
I'm sorry about that. We're going to discuss the NRPA exhibit hall visit.
Yeah, and basically, I'm going to let Keith and, Hogan and Tyler and Bill speak about this and their experience. I haven't followed up with them, but, they took advantage of that opportunity since the national conference was here in Dallas. As you guys know, I was part of the local host committee, so I worked the conference in different areas. So that I just kind of let them go, and they went through the exhibit hall. But if you want to share some of the things that you experienced, that would be great.
You want me to start?
Yep. Go ahead.
So we took the bus down there, met lots of the employees for lunch, and it was great just seeing all the activity and buzz going on. I mean, there's everyone from, I assume every state just about has a representative there. And I don't know what it was, probably 300 to 500 vendors all set up. And so kind of a realization Hogan and I had was we really don't know the day-to-day people that you work with, like the vendors, like who are we using for pool chemicals, things like that, which we don't really need to know as board members. But we were there to kind of see what other parks departments were doing, what was capable, kind of the ideas, and tons of like turf vendors, tons of recycled benches, everything that you see in our parks. Huge, like a pickleball court was set up, USA Pickleball was there. All the software vendors were there that we've seen comparisons before. So I think more than anything, it was just great for us to see what was capable, who's out there, and kind of have just a broad idea of what other parks are doing and what we can become. But thanks to the city and the Parks and Rec Department for making it available for us. It was a great experience. We learned a lot and look forward to utilizing that sometime soon.
Yeah, thanks so much for inviting us. I definitely echo that point of learning a lot from just what's available from the different vendors and what different Parks and Recs departments are actually doing around the states, and just seeing different ideas. I mean, I saw one guy who created his own 3D printed signs that were they were more like accessible for people who were blind or who were deaf or just wanted to walk the trails, that it was all in Braille, or they had an option on there with a QR code that you could scan to be able to go to a certain app that would be able to play some things for you on YouTube. And it was really cool just seeing how different people approach different problems that we might already have or we might run into in the future. And I just thought it was an amazing opportunity, and I really appreciate being able to go.
Excellent.
It was a good, I mean, everything that they said, it was a good turnout, and it was nice to see all the different Parks and Recreation boards and directors there from all across the country. And the vendors, a lot of pickleball, of course, disc golf, a lot of playground equipment. It was just nice, like they said, just to see all the different companies, and a lot of them we were familiar with because either we're working with them or we've seen their stuff, so. And the only thing I picked up on is next year, hopefully we're still going to consider covering the new pickleball courts. And there was one company that had like sails. It was trapezoids and triangles and squares that could cover a pickleball court, but that would allow the ventilation that we're looking for. But I know we're going to be doing a lot of study, an engineering study, what's going to be the best long-term alternative for that. So it was just fun seeing everything.
That's good.
And we thank the city for taking us.
Yeah, absolutely. And the opportunity to engage with the other park staff that behind me that you don't get to see that often. Right. And I love that. They're the ones that make it happen. Very much. I'm very blessed to have such a good staff. This national conference was the largest to date at 9,300 participants.
Wow.
Across the United States. So we were pretty proud of that as being a part of the local host committee that we're able to tout that. Now Atlanta, Georgia has to try to match that. But very proud to have my board there representing representatives from my board. It was awesome to be able to tell my colleagues that my board is here and they're engaging, and so that's a good thing for me to be able to say. So thank you, really greatly appreciate it. Okay, what do we have next, sir?
All right, we're going to be talking about to discuss the cancellation of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. Regular meetings scheduled for November 20th, December 18th, and January 15th of 2024. Go ahead.
So typically, we look at this every year with the understanding that if something of importance that comes up that needs to happen, we have a special meeting. So it doesn't change the flow of information and work. This is a time where we're extremely event heavy. It's a time for the holidays. People are flying, traveling, things like that. And just these 3 months, because of the way that they fall, we typically don't have a meeting. But when we come back in February, we're pretty much hitting the ground running pretty hard and have a meeting every month all the way up until this time next year. So that's a little background.
Is there any comments on that from anybody? No?
Assuming a vote has to happen on that.
Do we have a motion?
Is this a motion to cancel?
Or is it
I don't think we need a motion.
It's not a motion because I
Well, we're
can,
not making an edit of it or anything?
no, it's just a, discussion about it. And the fact that As we get to that point, what I'll do is Terry will send out a cancellation notice. Hey, I'll call you and I'll say, look, there's nothing on the agenda. We're not getting anything. Council has not given us any direction.
Yeah.
There's nothing new that, needs to be brought forward, so we're going to go ahead and cancel the meeting.
Yeah.
And we're going to do that every month.
Okay. So that's just a statement of fact.
Yep,
Courtesy.
yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds good.
And then, of course, I'm available, well, after my surgery, but
Hope that goes well.
available. And if you don't have my cell number, I'll make sure that it's shared with everyone.
I think we canceled all 3 summer meetings and we ended up having 4 in place of it, so.
Yeah. Remember that. Said, nope, just kidding. All right, discussion on future agenda items. A board member may inquire about a subject of which notice has not been given. A statement of factual or of specific factual information or the recitation of existing policy may be given. Any deliberation shall be limited to a proposal to place the subject on the agenda for a subsequent meeting. Do we have any agenda items?
Well, I guess the only thing that I would still like to see on future agendas is the updates from the Corps on what actions they're being able to take. We've still got the boat dock issue, which with these cancellations, it'll be February, March, springtime. And we certainly would want to try to catch and stop that before next spring. And then we still got the encroachment onto the core property of some of the property owners that needs addressed. So whether it be updates or just be in contact with the Corps and let them know we're still very interested in getting those issues resolved.
Got it.
Just as a point of clarification for this, I'm assuming this is a agenda item every meeting, right? Okay. So in this particular case, this would be like, as we're out in the community, we have things that we want to bring back to the board. This is where we bring those up for a future.
Correct.
Yeah, you do it, actually, what I would like as a department head is for you to notify me prior to bringing it to the board.
Okay.
And because what I start doing is if it's something that requires action, I start moving towards that.
Okay.
You still bring it up in the board, but then I am able to give a report based off of what was provided for me on how we're dealing with the issue. Especially, and what I'm specifically talking about, if you notice that a light is out on a trail,
Yeah.
I don't want you waiting until the board meeting to let me know, or,
Right.
yeah, or you notice there's a flood, a bunch of water coming up from somewhere, underneath the sidewalk or
Can
something.
get approved pretty quickly.
Vandalism.
Light bulb, right?
Yeah.
Well, is that stuff best reported directly to you, or should we use the Eye on Highland Village app?
You can do both.
What's your preference?
Well, I prefer the Eye on Highland Village first.
That way it
And
can
then I
funnel.
prefer someone, just saying, hey, just want to let you know I was out there. I put it on Eye on Highland Village. Because when I go into my leadership meeting, sometimes these things pop up from the city manager. He gets called and or send an email, and I say, I already got it. Or he'll send me a text or something, hey, have you seen this, or a picture of something.
Right.
So having that information ahead of time is good. So either way, I would like to be notified. And that's just, making sure that we are dealing with any safety or maintenance issues, right-of-way vandalism, things like that.
Yeah. I guess I didn't have in mind those kind of operational type topics, but I understand. Okay.
And if I can just add to that, nobody likes to be blindsided. We as board members can always request any concern or issue to be placed on the agenda.
Yep.
But if we work through Phil and work through Mitch, a lot of times that can be resolved, and then it's more of just, here's what was reported, this is what we've already taken action on. But if there is something that you want, all of us have the right to put it on as an agenda item, which can go on the agenda prior to a meeting, just working through Phil and Mitch.
Yep. And you come meet with me, and I bring you up to speed on everything we have going on, and it's quite a bit. And I think that would help, and be able to answer any questions that you may have would be good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And just more detail that can come to the table too by doing that, between you and I.
Yeah, like give you an example, the security additional cameras that was brought before the board that was a concern over at Doubletree. They're installed.
Fantastic.
Wonderful.
They're working, and they look good.
Fantastic. I might have to come by and see how those are.
Just going to be dancing.
I just want to check out the camera, see what's going on.
So there was a conversation that happened. I was able to work it with our IT folks, police department, had a formal visit, talked to Ken, or IT talked to Ken for funding and things like that and see if it was plausible. And then I was able to get all that information and then bring it to the board as to a direction that we're headed. So it's just to keep the ball rolling, keep it moving forward, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
And I hate to dominate, but our role is also to make recommendations to council. So especially when it comes to funding or, budget items, if there's something out there, a vision that you have, or it's going to take funding, then it's better for us to get it discussed, get it on the agenda. But then it can come through as a motion and approval to recommend to council that we fund this or do this project. So
That's how the pickleball court renovation came about. Very good.
Okay.
Any other comments? All right. Well, I don't have my gavel tonight, so I will adjourn this meeting at 6:30.